Hey guys, Melissa here with Lovable Loops. In this tutorial, I'm going to show you guys how to crochet a beginner scarf. For this tutorial, you're going to need number 4 worsted weight yarn, an I 5.5 millimeter crochet hook, a pair of scissors, and a tapestry needle. This is going to be a skinny scarf, which means it's going to measure between 3.5 and 4 inches wide approximately. That's the definition I found online for a skinny scarf. So I think mine's going to measure about 4 inches wide. To begin, you're going to take your yarn and your hook. Take your yarn. Now, I'm right-handed, so I don't know how to show you how to do this if you are a left-handed crocheter. But if you're right-handed like me, take your yarn. You're going to wrap it around your fingers like that. Sorry, I started making a magic ring. And what you want to do is you want to get that yarn on the inside, on the other side there, and pull it through. It's hard to explain, but you're going to have that loop on your hook and then just pull it tight, okay? So that's your slip knot, and then we're going to make a chain of 13 plus 2 for our turning chain. So we're going to make a total of 15 chains. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Now the reason we do, I made those 2 extra, our scarf is going to be 13 double crochet wide, and those 2 additional chains are our turning chain. So we're going to yarn over, and you're going to skip over those first 2 chains. So that chain right there and that one, you're going to skip over those, and those are going to be your turning chain. They provide the height for the row. So 1, 2, skip over that, and then in that 3rd chain from your hook, you're going to make a double crochet. Okay? And then you're going to double crochet once in each of those remaining chains. So you'll have a total of 13 double crochet. Now, if you don't know how to double crochet, I'll link below to a tutorial for that, but I'll go ahead and work slowly. This is a beginner scarf tutorial, not a beginner, or not necessarily designed to teach you how to double crochet, but how to use what you know about double crochet to create a scarf, okay? So go ahead and double crochet once into each of those chains. If your work is curling up, that's just because the first row has the chain, so you can stretch it out. Once you get going, that will stop happening. But it's kind of hard in the first row. And the chains are harder to crochet into, so this should be the hardest row of the entire scarf. So it only gets easier from here. Okay. Now, go ahead and count your stitches and make sure that you have 13. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13. Okay, so that is row 1. You are done. Now, you're going to chain 2, and then you're going to turn your work, and now we are working from right to left. Okay, so we were just working. We're always working from right to left, but as far as the scarf goes, we'll be working back and forth on it, okay? So now we're ready to begin row 2. You have made your chain 2, you're working from right to left, and you've yarned over. So we're ready for our first double crochet. So you're gonna go ahead and make your first double crochet in that first stitch there, just like that, okay? And now you need to make a double crochet in each of those remaining 12 stitches. So you'll have, again, a total of 13. For the entire scarf, you will have 13 stitches in each row. And you can always Pause the video if you need to catch up. All right, there you go. You have completed row 2. Okay. And if you're very new to crochet, I would suggest counting your stitches after each row just to make sure that you stay on track and don't lose any or add any. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13. Okay. Now for row 3, you're going to take your work, chain 2, flip it just like that. And then you're going to yarn over and make your first double crochet. Okay. And you'll double crochet in each of those remaining stitches in that row. And once again, at the end of row 3, you'll have 13 stitches. Okay, you have completed row 3. Okay, and again, you still have 13 stitches in your row. From here, you chain 2, turn your work, and you're going to double crochet once into each of those stitches. Okay, you are done with row 4. You can start to notice how, because we're working back and forth, there is no right side or wrong side to the work because it alternates every row and it gives the scarf a really cool look. And you're just using double crochet stitches, so it's a very simple scarf, but it has a neat look to it. Okay, go ahead and chain 2 to begin row 5. Turn your work and then double crochet once into each of those stitches. Okay, row 5 is done. Chain 2, turn your work, and for row 6, just going to continue making 1 double crochet in each stitch. Okay, so we just completed row 6. Okay, chain 2, turn your work, and begin row 7. All right, there we go. We have completed row 7. Okay, starting to look like a little bit of something, isn't it? Go ahead and chain 2, 2, 4, 6. Okay, and for row 8, again, chain 2, turn your work, and do the same thing. You're going to work row 8. Oops. Okay, there you go. Row 8 is done. Okay, chain 2, turn your work, and crochet row 9. All right, we're done with row 9. Okay, for row 10, chain 2, turn your work, and double crochet once in each stitch. Again, if you are new to crochet, I highly recommend that you count your stitches at the end of each row. There's only 13 in each row, so it's super easy to undo a row if you need to and go back and fix it. And it's so much easier to do it to catch the problem when it happens and to undo, you know, 20 minutes worth of work. That's hard to do. If you've heard the term frogging, that's what that's called. When you realize you've made a mistake and you go and undo your work, because of the ribbing sound it makes, it sounds like a frog ribbiting. It's called frogging your work. Okay, so we just completed row 10, so I'd like to measure my work now to see, and it is about 5.5 inches. So that means that every 10 rows equals 5.5 inches. And my goal for the length of this scarf is just under 70 inches, so like between 68 and 70. So, and I did the calculations for this off camera. I'm not doing this in my head, but if 10 rows equals 5.5 inches, then 125 rows will equal just over 68 inches. Now, don't be overwhelmed. 120 rows, it sounds like a lot, but you've already made 10, and that's the hardest time because it's the beginning. So you're gonna fly through this. And keep in mind, if you are making the scarf, you can make it as long or as short as you want. So if you decide after 50 inches you're tired of making it and it's long enough for you, then you're good, then you're done. So, but I'm gonna go ahead and continue along. I am, however, not going to be, I'm gonna do one more row where I walk you through it, and then after that, I will just speed up the video so that I'm not taking up too much time with the tutorial because it's very straightforward, okay? So for row 11, and you can see, count your rows. It's usually, I think it's easier if the piece is a little further away from you. So if I lay it down, you can see here, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, those are your rows. Okay, so now for row 11, chain 2, turn your work, and double crochet once in each stitch. Again, this is the last row that I'll do like this. Then I'm going to speed it up and come back to you at the end. Oh, just as a tip real quick. When I first started crocheting, I thought it was hard to tell where each row was for rows or rounds. It's easier with double crochet, but single crochet still trips me up sometimes. It's hard to see each row, I think. So what you can do as you're working, you can use locking stitch markers and just put a stitch marker on each 10th row. And then as you're working, you can just count by 10s, your sections, 10, 20, 30. So I used to do that when I was first learning how to crochet because I was always worried about having too many or too little stitches, so, or rows. So this just helps you keep track of your stitches and your rows. And in this case, because it's so simple, it's easy to keep track of the stitches. It's the number of rows that's a little bit harder. Okay, so that's row 11. So now you're gonna do rows 12 through 125 on your own, same thing. You're gonna chain 2 for each row and turn your work. You'll make 1 double crochet in each stitch all the way across. And at the end of each row, you'll have 13 stitches and you'll just work back and forth until you have your desired length or 125 rows. All right, guys, we are now done. So when you get to your last row and you're happy with the length, go ahead and cut off your yarn there. And you can use your tapestry needle to weave it in. Since there's no right or wrong side, I'm just, whatever side that yarn tail is on, I'm gonna just weave it in. Just like that. And then I'll make sure it's not too tight and I'll cut that. Now, you can leave your yarn, or excuse me, the scarf just like this. I think it looks adorable. And if you like these colors, I'm using this variegated yarn, Karen Big Cakes. It's in the color Summer Berry Tart. If I can find it on Amazon, I'll link it below for you. I think these colors are beautiful, especially for spring coming up. But anyway, so you are done. You have made a scarf. It was super simple, easy, quick. Now, you can add pom-poms onto the end or tassels if you choose to do so, but this tutorial is just for the basic scarf, a quick and easy scarf for you to make. So I hope you guys found this tutorial helpful. If you did, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. And don't forget to hit the notification bell. I'm trying to come out with 1 to 2 tutorials every week. So also don't forget to go and head over to my blog and check out all the free patterns I have there. All right, thanks guys, bye.